Hi friends, Mindy here. I have a process video for you today. This is for day 3 of Mind Games from Bythewell4god. I have already written out all my notes or my scriptures on the little journaling cards and everything. I'm just pulling out this tag to work on day 3. I'm going to be using a 3D embossing folder from Tim Holtz, and it's this one that kind of looks like a wood grain. It's because I have a mind to kind of create this so that it looks almost like a table background. So I'm starting off with some Distress Oxide ink in, I believe this was walnut stain, and I am rubbing this into the raised part of this embossing folder. And what I'm going to do then is spray just a little bit of water on the backside of this tag, just to try to prevent the cracking and stuff that can happen whenever you're using one of these really dimensional folders. In the end, you'll see I do end up with a little bit of cracking, and we'll fix that. But I'm just kind of lining this up, trying to make it sure that it's straight, and then I'm going to run that through my little machine. And then you can kind of see it pushes that ink down into the sort of recessed areas of this pattern. And I know it looks more like tree bark or whatever, but it kind of just says table to me. So anyway, that's what I'm going with for today. And then I'm just going to go ahead and distress the outside. You can see up in that top right-hand corner where there's a little bit of tear from the cracking that happens. This is kind of a thinner tag. And so running it through there, especially just because it's so dimensional, these embossing folders, it did create a little bit of a problem. So to fix it, I'm just going to glue it to another tag. It's no problem. I am going to make sure though that I'm adding quite a bit of glue, and I'm actually going to add glue to both tags. But first I want to remove the little hole reinforcer just to make it so that it will lay flat when they're glued together, just so that it doesn't have that kind of extra bump. You can see where I have added glue to both sides. I'm just going to push that down, line everything up, and it will be good. And then that way I just feel a little bit more secure that I'm not going to lose that one piece that's kind of already torn. So I'm just going to let that sit and dry for a second. And it didn't, I kind of missed like the very, very bottom edge, but I don't really think it's going to be all that noticeable by the time I am finished. So I just really wanted this sort of tabletop look to this. And I did add a little bit of embossing over, distressing over the top with that same color, just to add a little bit of dimension again over the top of all of that. So this is the verse for this day, which is Colossians 3:2. Then we're talking about, it says to set your mind on things above and not on things that are on the earth. And so because I want to use this journaling card the way that it is, I'm going to actually put this onto my tag ring. So I'm just going to shape it like it's a tag. I'm just cutting off those two little corner sections, and I'm going to punch a hole so that it will line up exactly evenly with these tags. I'm just using a hole punch and that other tag as a guide. And this day is really focused on kind of our thought process about keeping eternity in view. And because sometimes it's just very easy as we're going through sort of day-to-day life to kind of lose focus on what we're doing, just kind of get lost in the grind of all the things that we have to do, raising kids, working jobs, going to the grocery store, doing all of those things. But really, you know, our minds need to be set on heavenly things, not on earthly things. And so we need to remember that everything that we're doing is with that in mind, is with our, eternity in mind. And life is so much more than just sometimes the struggles that we find ourselves in this life. And so it's just such a good reminder for this day. And so what I'm doing here, you can see I've added a couple of the dominoes from the ephemera pack up there on the left. I chose the one that had the 3 because this is for day 3. And then I'm going to use one of these little viewfinders and create a little pocket down here at the bottom. But I was afraid that if I was to put that there with the open holes, that the tags and the flashcards going in and out might get caught on there. So I just backed that with some vellum, and that will still allow the things to be seen through the viewfinder, but it will also just keep everything nice and tucked in there so it's not like poking through as I'm trying to slide things in and out. Here I'm just deciding where I want to put this little viewfinder. Obviously it's too big to fit on this tag in entirety, so part of it is going to get cut off, which is also fine. But because this one journaling card that I'm using is also just almost the exact size of the tag. I need to be able to kind of do this more as a little tuck spot. So I'm only adding glue on the right and across the bottom. And I know that you can see it through that vellum right here, but it's not going to show once that all dries, which is another reason for having that vellum, because it's just going to create that nice pocket that I need across the side and the bottom, instead of just trying to hold through, you know, the little sections of the viewfinder. So I did distress that viewfinder as well with some archival ink in ground espresso, just to get some of the white knocked back off of that. And then I'm going to add just a few more dominoes kind of over the top. I don't want to lose the viewfinder totally, but just trying to pull the whole thing together and pull some of the colors together, as my journaling card has, you know, kind of multicolors, and then the flashcards are all different colors as well. So I am going to ink these as well, again, just to give them a little bit of dimension and help them to stand out. And then I glued them as a cluster together, and then I'm going to glue that entire piece together. That just is an easier way for me to work. I kind of glue them down in layers together and then glue the whole entire piece together, if that makes sense. So of course, I'm using my art glitter glue for all of this because it dries really quickly. And you can kind of see where this is tucked in. That journaling card kind of sticks out to the left of the tag just a little bit, but I'm not worried about it. I think that's going to be fine. And I have been reserving the backside of these tags for some personal reflection, prayer, etc. And so I'm going to do the same thing here, but I am going to put the title for this day, which, as I mentioned, is Life Through Heaven Colored Glasses. And this is obviously a long title, so I'm going to have to run this kind of up the side because it's not going to fit across the bottom there. And then I am using that clear domino. I love those domino stickers. I think they're so fun. And obviously they indicate that this is day 3 as well. So that was a clear sticker that I just put onto white cardstock and cut out. And then I will glue down here in this little bottom right hand corner, kind of keeping everything tucked here so that I have enough room to record my thoughts and reflections from this day on the back of this tag. And so I'm going to do that off camera. That's just going to kind of stay private, but I am just going to add everything back to my ring now. I have that journaling card that actually came in the kit but coordinates with this day, and then all my other scriptures that are written out on the backs of those flashcards and that other journaling card. Everything is going to get tucked into my ring, and that's going to be it for me. Another super simple day, but I'm just having a lot of fun working on this smaller scale this month. So if you liked this video, I would really appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And until next time, bye.